Friendship supreme. Friendship supreme. Finding the geek within.
Hey everybody, I'm Michael.
This is Cleve.
I'm Roxanne.
And we're Friendship Supreme.
Yeah,
we got rid of Stephanie.
Yep.
She's gone. I don't
Boot
care
her
anymore.
out.
Bye. We have a guest with us tonight, Roxanne. And we're going to be the podcast that dares to ask tonight, who puts the Glad-iator?
Hercules.
That's how that went. I wanted you to sing the song.
Am I blending them together?
Yeah.
I don't know. So today, due to our special guest bringing in a topic, we're going to talk about different versions of Hercules. I figured maybe we rate them. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. Well, that's what I do. I judge others. So the first one is 2014 amazing film starring Dwayne Johnson.
Did you want to let Roxanne tell anything about herself? Or like, it was
No.
just like, that's Roxanne. She's in the bottom box. We're going to fucking talk about stuff now, guys.
I figured I would do that at the end, like, tell your goodbye. And then she could talk about all the amazing cookies and stuff she makes.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
Way to spoil it.
Spoiler alert, guys. At the end, we're going to talk about cookies. That'll keep you here, so I'm okay.
You know what? Yeah, a little teaser for the end. Stick around, guys. We got cookies we're talking
We're a
about.
bunch of fucking mice or Keebler elves?
Yeah.
All right. First one, hit it.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This one on Rotten Tomato got a 58%, and the audience gave it a 48%, and IMDb gave it a 6 out of 10. And it's about where I imagined that movie would be. I never saw it.
It felt like a movie for all those that didn't give a shit about history or like actual story, and were like, I just want to see The Rock be like Conan the Barbarian.
I liked it. I like most movies though, but I liked it. They did touch on like some of the 12 labors of Hercules, but only a few. But I think I also liked the little bit of CGI that they put in there.
Okay. So you actually, you know what's so funny? As much as I support The Rock, I've never seen this movie.
But you saw Game Plan.
I did see Game Plan.
You chose the wrong one.
So
it wasn't, the CGI wasn't as bad as the Scorpion King either. Not that we're talking about The Rock. Sorry, guys. It just,
that was rough. That was real rough. God, my eyes. So I started doing research for this episode, finding different Herculeses to talk about, and I found a whole scandal in this movie. So apparently, this version of Hercules is based off of a comic book written by Steve Moore. I'm sorry. If you don't know that, don't be surprised, because they did not give him any credit whatsoever.
You got Bill fingered.
Yes. So he was supposed to get at least $15,000 when they picked up the story. He got nothing. They didn't. He said that they didn't follow. He was a real historian buff. They didn't follow a lot of what his story was based on and his research, like Hercules' boyfriend, who apparently is in the comics that this guy wrote, but not in the movie. Not a big shock, because big strong guys, right? This man passed away March 16, 2014. The movie came out in July 25th, 2014. After he passed away, they started using his name in marketing. The late Steve Moore, comic adaptation. And before he passed away, he specifically said, I don't want my name on this shit at all. And at the end, they gave him a special thanks. And I was like, wow, this is the last thing this man asked of this. And you were like, no, you're going to get credit for this movie. So I think he called it an abortion of a movie. So you only use that word when you really have a passion for it. The comic, though, is Knives of Kush and the Thracian Wars. So Roxanne, being a big, you know, Greek and Roman mythology buff, if you're interested in that, there's that information for you.
Interesting. Okay.
The only ever note I have about this movie is that The Rock wore a false beard. Big shock. But it was made out of yak testicle hair.
Specifically the testicle. We
This
had to
is the
call that out.
information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think it's just funny to say that The Rock had
It's fair.
yak testicle hair on his face for hours and hours.
I
thought-
kind of want to know, if you don't mind me derailing for just a moment,
love
where did your passion and love for Roman and Greek mythology come from, Roxanne?
I just really like learning things. I really love Greek mythology. I also like ancient Egypt stuff. I don't know. I really like it.
That's an acceptable answer. Sorry, I just wanted to know.
Yeah, I was always super fascinated with the gods and each god being responsible for a different thing, and Hercules the animated series.
I was to say I genuinely was raised by Disney, so guys, that's where my knowledge comes from, and it's not good knowledge. I'm gonna tell you now, they're not great at their whole keeping factual.
So Michael and I will just base it on look, and Roxanne, you can base it off the whole movie since you're the one that saw it. I would give this one like a 7 out of 10. It was weird seeing him with this long straight hair, but I mean, he has the build for what a Hercules in my mind would look like.
Who else would you have play him?
Well, I have a couple more names here for you. And it's
Okay, my bad. Sorry. Out of all the other kind of Hercules, I would say he's probably like a 6 or 7. He's got the body, but But then again, maybe he didn't. I don't know what Hercules looked like. They're statues.
There are statues.
I guess he wasn't necessarily real, or he was real. I don't know either.
I think I'm there too, like a 6 or a 7. I liked the movie, but I like most movies I see. And I do agree. I think he has the build for that type of character. But I don't remember loving the movie, though. I don't remember thinking I need to go back and watch that again.
I was going to say, is it something that you would own? Like, sometimes you have to have that copy at home. I feel like, for me to love The Rock and have seen just about every movie he's been in and never see this movie, I feel like speaks a lot to what even the movie gave off energy-wise. Apparently, the director hates the fucking creator of the comic, so that makes me not like the movie a little bit more. Next Hercules will be the Disney version. Rotten Tomato gives it an 84. Audience gives it a 76. But this Hercules took 3 Herculeses to make. So it's the voice of the adult, Tate Donovan, voice of young Hercules, Josh Keaton, and young Hercules, Robert Bart, which then struck to me, did he never sing as an adult? I've not watched.
There's only one song he ever sang.
Yeah,
him personally, he sang "Go the Distance," which then was done by Michael Bolton later.
So then that guy got that one part. That's cool.
Yeah.
This film. So at the time, Disney was getting a lot of backlash because they put out The Hunchback and Pocahontas, and they felt like the majority of the criticism was like it was too dark and they shouldn't be tackling these kind of topics.
How dare you introduce anything that might have been negative about Native American colonization, you bastards.
And then they ended up putting out Hercules, which was supposed to be lighter. I mean, it literally dealt with like death. But
they also had Nike commercials in it. Like
they did have Nike commercials in it.
The Air Maxes.
Apparently that's a real thing. Like, obviously not Nike, but like athletes back then would also not, I guess, be sponsored by certain businesses and stores and shit.
Like, just
I learned that.
I got this spear from Ted's shop down the road. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's like armor. I think armor was done like in like medieval, like the knight-ish times. I think that was like a big deal. Like you had specific stamps from iron workers or blacksmiths that were like, this is who made this armor. And you're like, oh, like, you're walking down the street and you've got a Chanel breastplate. Like they're excited about that.
Fair. So, a cool thing, IMDb has 9 different ways that this movie was different from like original mythology, which I thought was cool. 2 of them being was Hera is not Hercules' mother, but I'm sure that simplifies things for the children. And Pegasus was created by the blood of Medusa, not a cloud.
Oh,
So
I like that better.
I'm sure that passed with children better.
That's fair. Was Pain and Panic. Is that really I needed them to exist somewhere? Well, just specifically them, not just demons in general.
They were based off of certain demons, I believe, but their names were not Pain and Panic.
That's a shame.
I can keep spouting off facts and stuff, but by all means, if anybody has anything to say, intrude yourself. The animators, overall, it took 13 animators and technical directors a year and a half to create the 4-minute battle scene with the Hydra, which
was a really cool scene too.
It better be. It took me a year and a half. The role of Hades is done by James Wood, who apparently James Wood voices this character at all times in the animated series, cartoons, video games. He will drop everything to play this role. He said it's his favorite role, to the point where he was willing to give back his entire salary because the movie didn't have the budget it needed.
I feel like it kind of shows too, because I think it really comes through, even though it's a cartoon. Like the guy is just really dedicated. Like I get excited when Hades was a part of the cartoon.
Yeah,
he really brings it to life.
He does. Apparently, it was supposed to be like this slow talking version, and he was like, "No, I'm gonna do this," and just like did his own little thing. And they were like, "Yeah, don't do that." Nothing to do with Hercules, but when he says relax, it's only halftime, it is exactly in the middle of the movie. So you have that information to go with. There's a Disneyverse theory that Meg is immortal now due to the fact that she is now with Hercules. And there was supposed to be a sequel where they had a daughter named Hebe, Hebe, H-E-B-E. I don't know how you say that. But she's the goddess of youth. I would love a sequel of this if it's done right and took their time, like,
That would be cool.
Like Toy Story 3 when it came out so much later, and they took time to really hammer down the story.
But would you want it to still be hand drawn?
I would like that.
We'd have to dust off the tables and stuff.
They did it with
art, man.
They did it with the Princess and the Frog.
The last one.
I know,
Hasn't been one since.
It could be that one. Hercules 2.
They bring it back just to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Or we bring Pixar on, and then we get the Toy Story treatment.
I don't want it 3D-ish. I'm good with the hand drawn.
That's fair.
I would probably give this Hercules a 9 out of 10. Just because this, as a child, gave me a lot of my knowledge. There's something on my screen that I want off. What about you guys?
It's the only knowledge I think I've had, other than which I believe. Well, no, and actually, I would rate it lower than that, specifically because I imagine, and maybe I'll find out in a second, that it's not historically super accurate, knowing how Disney does things. So, like, I don't know. I'd say it's probably 5 or 6. Like, I like the music and stuff. And if they ever give it the Mulan treatment where like they redid it, but then said, haha, just kidding, there's no music and no fun, I'd probably be sad. But at the same time,
so angry.
But at the same time, like I feel like Hercules kind of deserves more of that serious, like almost like a Jason and the Argonauts. Like I know that was old and has terrible graphics, but like that felt like that was more intertwined in the way that type of movie should have been treated. That being said, it's one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. So, whatever.
I liked it. I like the color. I like the vibrancy of the color in the cartoon. I think I'd give it like an 8. Yeah. It's pretty fun. Now looking back at it, I don't really like watching it, and I really like cartoons, but it's still one of my favorites.
How come you don't like watching it now, if I may ask?
It actually seems a little dull. Like the colors still pop, but you can tell it's old, and some of the stuff I find just to kind of be either it doesn't seem like it really is a representation of a historical fact or what we know of the story of Hercules, or I'm just not really into the cartoon itself anymore.
I will say, as much as I have fond memories of it, I can't tell you the last time I watched it. Oh,
just wait, man. You have a kid now. You'll watch all of them. Let me tell you. I think I saw that one last week.
When he says "go the distance," there's a shooting star, and that's supposed to be Pegasus. We can go for him.
Oh.
I never knew that either. Now we're going to talk about Hercules from 2014. Not The Rock's Hercules. Apparently, there was another Hercules movie that came out in 2014 called The Legend of Hercules.
Yep.
This one got a 5% from Rotten Tomato, and the audience gave it a 33%.
Oh.
There was not a lot to go off of on this movie, which also speaks to how bad it was. Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
Can you imagine the level of disappointment if you bought a ticket, you went in, and they're like, that's not the fucking Rock. Wait a second. I don't know. Same year, maybe we hold off for a little bit. So the reason DC comes out with superhero movies after the Avengers have done it.
Right. It started by Kellen Lutz, who apparently was in Twilight. I can't tell you who in Twilight, but he was in Twilight. He landed the role, and he said he wanted to portray himself like a huge, bulky Hercules. The director asked him not to. He said, just make your abs pop. He was like, I don't like the idea of this pile of meat version of Hercules, which I can appreciate. So Lutz went on this caveman diet to ensure that there was no fat in his system whatsoever. But the YouTuber movie review guy, Chris Stuckman, said that Dwayne Johnson's Hercules could be him pooping in a woods for 1.5 hours and still be better than this one. And this guy reviews movies all the time. So
yeah, I actually saw both of these Hercules movies, and he does appear more realistic. If somebody's going to be half god, I agree, they probably shouldn't just be walking around like a bodybuilder.
A monster, yeah.
Yeah, and there is some cool stuff in it too, but not too much. Zeus comes down and helps him, and there's a bunch of lightning that goes through whatever it is he's holding in that scene.
I did see a scene he took a sword and he was flinging lightning through it, and that part looked cool. That's all YouTube would give me, is that one scene.
Yeah. Well, I also didn't really like this one because it also seemed to be more of a love story. There was a girl involved, and his cousin or brother was going to marry her, but these two were in love, and so he was sent away to do these 12 labors to keep him away so that this prince or whatever could marry the girl. And he still tries to win her back. So I felt like that was kind of lame. If I'm going to watch a movie on Hercules, I want it to be him kicking ass and not in love with some girl. It's not what I want.
I imagine a bunch of, men are going to see the movie and they're like, I got fucking tricked into this love story that I did not want.
Yep.
I think I can easily give Kellen Lutz a 1 without feeling bad if he ever saw this.
I think he knows it often. He watches this podcast specifically. He's written it a couple times.
Well, I mean, maybe we have him on. He can talk to me about where he thinks the film could have went better.
I usually put them as spam. All those emails from Will Smith. I don't really want any from anybody else.
Yeah, I gotta cut through the garbage to get to
That's
the
right. Yeah. Dwayne Johnson will get those anytime.
I would give it a 6 because I still really like just the movie about Hercules itself. There is this one guy, the cousin that is like stealing his girl, who kind of comes off as like a whiny little bitch, and I love that he gets his ass kicked in the end. So that's why I'm still like, it's still okay.
It does feel good to see someone get theirs. It always feels good.
Yes.
When you watch something, you're like, "Ooh, someone's gonna get their hands on you," and I can't wait. That's fair.
Being that I didn't know this movie existed,
Just Google him
I don't
real
feel
quick.
good
and
enough
give
to.
a
I saw what he looked like. He looked
Okay.
like. I could have watched the movie Jarhead. It looks like every one of the guys in that movie. I remember that movie. It was, just a lot of baldish, buff guys.
You know what? I'll bump it up to the 3, but just because he was portraying him as a regular man and not a fucking jacked psychopath.
Okay. I would rate it as well as I would rate me just going to the movie theater to get a bucket of popcorn and then leaving at the same, like not seeing a movie.
Sorry, Kellen. It's not your fault, man. Some people are just in bad movies. You chose this one in Twilight. This is what it is.
Twilight did really well, sir. I mean, not my cup of tea, but
don't try to defend it and then be like, but I didn't care. You loved it.
I've never seen any of them or read them. Katie was really big into them. It was, before we got together, so I didn't have to be subjected to that. Now I just have to watch Fast and Furious movies, which make me want to jump off a cliff.
How dare you?
I hate all of them, Cleve.
Roxanne loves them.
Do you? I'm so sorry, Roxanne.
I don't know. I have no information on that.
They drive me crazy, man. If you go to watch it because like you like car racing, like cool. That was the first one and maybe the second one, and now there's
Tokyo Drift, sir. That was all the rage.
Tokyo Drift didn't even count in the movies until like the 7th or 8th one, and then they finally recognized that. Oh yeah, that actually happened.
Okay,
that Asian guy, yeah, he was a part of this whole time.
You guys were there too.
Yeah, Han, he was here.
You can come eat at the barbecue.
Yeah, it's just terrible. It's like the Die Hard of fucking racing movies. We started out, real everyday man, and now we're flying motorcycles into helicopters. No, sir, not today.
You could tell that like Michael doesn't have a lot of passion about Hercules, but has a lot of passion about the Fast and Furious.
I've never seen this one. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I wish I had. I want to see The Rock. I think I'm gonna go watch The Rock one. I'm gonna give it a chance.
I will say, apparently, there's a part, Roxanne, you can speak to it, where he's like chained down, and he eventually like breaks out of it because he's a big, strong rock. He had them put real chains on him. Dwayne asked for real chains that he couldn't break through, so you could see the full flex, and he passed out 6 times.
That's like stubbornness, and I love
dog,
it.
You're losing brain cells, dog. Like,
you don't need them anymore.
Now you got to show about running president, but I found out that you passed yourself out in 2014 6 times in one scene. That's not good. That's not healthy.
Look, my man rapped out, "You're welcome." What more do you want from him?
He did rap out, "You're welcome." Forgiven. All's forgiven. Next is Hercules, The Legendary Journey from 1995 to 1999.
This is probably the other Hercules I have the most knowledge of.
Yes, played by Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah.
Has an audience rating of 58. There's no Rotten Tomato rating.
That's surprising. I always thought it had like a really big following.
And it's a 6.5 out of 10 from IMDb. The information I have for you is Kevin apparently had to read for the role like 7 or 9 times before he got it. He did not wax or shave his torso for the show, so you have that information with you. There's a 3-episode story arc that there was a character that was supposed to die at the end, and the producers were like looking to the future, and that's where Xena ended up coming from.
Nice.
The show was canceled midway through the 6th season. There's only 8 episodes. Kevin Sorbo says that the show was canceled not due to ratings, but they wanted him to sign on for 3 more seasons, and he only wanted to do the 1 last season so he could go star in Andromeda.
He did do Andromeda.
The ironic part is, I don't think he ever had another iconic role like this one was.
I
You get
agree.
pigeonholed, man.
He's gonna be like Steve Amell, fucking Arrow. Like, yeah,
He
man.
played Casey Jones real well, man. Stop. He was Casey Jones, and it was beautiful. Him and Megan Fox had a great interaction on screen together.
I'm turning off the meeting. I'm leaving the meeting. Another thing that kind of made me kind of not like Kevin. Apparently, he was super jealous about the success of Xena, and he complained that Xena took away half the writers and directors of the show. But someone cross-referenced this information and said that only about 2 to 4 writers and directors did both shows. Xena ran from 2000 to 2001, like after Hercules had already been canceled, so they don't count anybody who did both for that. And he never complained about any other Hercules shows that were running the same time his show was running. So it's like, I understand you're bitter, and you think that. It's also weird that you weren't canceled due to ratings. Why are you mad that Xena got popular and your show kind of fizzled out? I mean, 4 or 5 years? That's a good run. Don't be sad.
He's like the Twitch streamers that complain about the hot tub streams, Like, nobody's watching a hot tub stream that's going to come to me and let them go to Xena. It's fine. I get it.
That's fair. I also remember having super fond memories of Xena. I can't tell you a single episode.
I don't remember if this is real or not, but I swear they had a couple crossovers.
They did.
Okay.
But
I used to watch them. I didn't watch Young Hercules though, but I did watch Hercules with Kevin Sorbo because I really liked it, and then I fell in love with Xena. And I don't know what made me want to watch Xena more than Hercules. But I was definitely one of those people that really liked that show more. I think it was just like watching a female kick ass.
I mean, I think that's why I probably enjoyed it more. It's like you don't get to see that as much.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, the next one we're going to talk about is Young Hercules. Does anybody remember who starred at Young Hercules?
Yes.
Give it to me.
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan fucking Gosling at age 17.
Good for him. He's done well for himself.
At one point, there was Hercules, the animated series, the Legend Journey Hercules, and Young Hercules all going at the same time. And that's what kind of they were bringing up. Like, why are you upset that Xena is pulling away from your audience, but there's 3 shows with your name in it, and you're not mentioning them at all? Ryan Gosling trained in like a martial arts class with the same people that did Lucy Lawless, Xena, and Kevin. Ryan Gosling apparently still speaks super proudly of this one and is still super excited that he did it. And apparently they were skeptical of Ryan because he was so scrawny, but he did such a great performance. They were like, yeah, okay, we'll take you. IMDb gives this one a 5.7 out of 10. I don't remember if I said that. But I don't have as many memories of this one like I do. I completely forgot he was even in it until I started doing this. 5 out of 10, just because it's Ryan Gosling. I don't remember any story or anything.
I never watched it, but yep, because it's Ryan Gosling, I'd say 10 out of 10.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
But it's 17-year-old Ryan Gosling. Can you still give it a 10 out of 10?
Oh, don't be gross. Oh.
Just wanted to remind you.
What state was it filmed in, Cleve?
No.
Does it matter what state it was filmed in, or does it matter where you are as you say it?
There.
Oh, also, it was in New Zealand. Apparently, all these were in New Zealand.
New Zealand, I think they don't have any rules. You're good. Don't worry about it. Roxanne, you're good. 17-year-old Ryan Gosling, it's fine.
I agree. Michael, Young Hercules reading. Please give it another 10 out of 10.
7.5.
All right. Good job, Ryan. You did it, baby.
Just
made
based off of you, Baby Driver. You got it. That's the right one, right? That's the good movie. That's the movie he was in. Dang it.
Nope.
Who's Baby Driver?
Not him.
Which one was that? Yeah, the kid.
I think it wasn't his Need for Speed.
What was he had the scorpion on the jacket.
With Eva Mendes? No.
Know.
But that's not Baby Driver, is what I'm telling you.
Oh,
That movie
I'm
I
thinking
know.
of a different movie. What's the one where he's got like a gold jacket with a little scorpion on the back?
Look it up while I move on. The last one I think might be my favorite, super biasly. It is Hercules in New York. It came out in 1969. I already feel like Roxanne remembers it because she busted out laughing. Do you know who stars in it?
Is this the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
It is the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. Apparently, this film debuted to help. This is Arnold's first film debut. To help Arnold get the role, his agent said that he had a lot of stage experience, implying like theater, but it was bodybuilding stages that he was on. What helped him get the role? And Arnold's voice was dubbed over in the film, but later they released it in DVD with Arnold's voice. Thank God. Since Arnold was nobody and his last name was too long, and the comedic co-star was Arnold Stang, they just called Arnold Strongman Mr. Universe and just ended it there. In 2010, the copyrights ran out for the film, and it went up on eBay with a starting bid of $250,000. They don't know what the winning bid was, but basically, at some point, anybody in the public could have owned the rights to Arnold's first movie. I know. I only wish I could have ever had that money at that time. I would have, without hesitation. And then it'd be like, you spent that money? I'm like, this is Arnold's first movie. Hold on a second. You slow down.
We are not going to buy a house. Instead,
right.
We have this.
Yeah.
Financial security.
Well, let's watch this film real quick.
In the back of your car?
Yes. At your house, because I can't afford it.
Come over, but I got this movie.
Hercules refers to himself as the demigod of Mount Olympus in Greece, but Hercules is a Roman deity. One alternate title for the film was Hercules Goes Bananas, which would have been fantastic.
Can we make a movie called Hercules Goes Bananas?
I wish I had the rights. I'd change it.
I don't think that's how that works.
I'll do it anyway. I'll re-release it.
You own the rights. Yeah, that's fair.
The last note I have for this one is that Arnold has said that he thoroughly regrets appearing in this film. This motherfucker did Batman and Robin.
Hold on a second. His role in that movie was the best.
The nerve for you to be like, I regret this one.
When was he caught saying that though? Because at one point he did Kindergarten Cop and Jingle All the Way, and those were both solid movies. Oh, Jingle All the Way would have been after Batman.
Let's say those were beloved films.
Kindergarten Cop, Terminator. He could have said it after Terminator, and I would have understood.
Yo, I can. And Roxanne, if you want to come back, I can send you the link to this movie because I think it's on YouTube. I think we need to watch this. I've never seen it. I saw a clip and I was on board.
The moment you guys are gone, I'm watching this. I'm so excited about this movie right now.
Oh man, it was all over the one scene. I'm like, I'm all over the place with this shit. I don't know what's happening, but yeah.
I watched Samurai Cop. Nothing gets worse than that. So
I don't know.
What is the one where he's a kindergarten teacher?
Kindergarten Cop.
It's
a great one. Not a tumor. Yeah.
What is your daddy and what does he do? No. Fucking 10 out of 10. Arnold's 10. I like that they were like, I don't know what you're saying. I'm just going to dub your voice.
He just, it's like Predator. He was still having real tough issues because he's from Austria, I think. And he came over and had real tough time adjusting as far as language and accent goes. And they didn't understand anything he said in Predator. But yeah, we want you here for this. We just needed you as a human slab of meat.
Yep.
Please be there and look pretty. Yeah. 9 out of 10. I haven't even seen it yet. I'm gonna go watch it after this, and I'm real pumped. My ratings mean nothing, guys. I'm sorry.
The untrained. Did you look up what he looks like at least, so that you had a reference?
Sure will.
Have you ever seen this movie, Roxanne? I don't even know.
I haven't seen it, but I know of it.
I'm in awe that you know of it because I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is just Arnold.
You're
This is Arnold with a white sheet around his chest. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'm on board.
your knowledge of this time goes well beyond Michael and I's combined. If you were like, I've heard of this movie, because I was like, what the fuck is this? I spent an hour just looking into this movie, not even really getting details, but just wanting more. I heard the dub voice, I heard his voice, I went all in. Damn copyrights. God, that would have been great.
I'm already gonna rate it a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Only his voice though. I think dubbed, I don't even want it.
Yeah.
It's like had we let the Darth Vader guy inside the
Yes.
suit kept his voice, we would have all been disappointed.
I think
get
it
it.
might have made it better.
Maybe it was a British accent.
Imagine
Would that have been
super
weird?
scary guy. No, I always kind of assumed.
That's fair. That makes sense. Like an empire. Anyway, we're not going down this road. I derail everything. I'm sorry.
Final Hercules thoughts. Oh, guys, calm down.
I wonder why
Go ahead.
why there's so many stories about Hercules and not about other demigods out there.
That's fair. I know, by all means, by super not knowledgeable self, I remember Troy about Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Is Beowulf one? I don't know where he lies in the time spectrum of the stories.
I don't either.
So we'll say no then. Yeah, it's. I don't know.
There's Clash of the Titans.
Right.
And then
Me-
Wrath of the Titans is a different son, I think.
We'll talk about the old one, not the new ones, because those were.
Maybe Hercules was popular because it was comic adaptations of it, and we had Marvel and DC that both made them because it was a free reign property.
That's true. It's in public
Intellectually,
domain.
yeah, maybe that just kind of influenced it, and from there it took off, and everyone was like, "Yeah, Hercules, that makes sense," and just ran with it.
But I guess, like she's saying, why just him?
Yeah,
There's so
I
many
don't know any
stories that
other
could be told.
demigods because I'm.
You do. You just like. The name demigod doesn't necessarily strike out as much as their actual name would.
Yeah.
But as I say that, I'm also blanking on names. So.
Who would you want to see a movie of, Roxanne? If they were just going to make one.
I am a really big fan, and this is already happening, of Rick Riordan's books of Perseus Jackson.
Oh yeah.
I was going to say there. I remembered his. I wasn't sure if does that count because that's books set in modern day, or does it have to be that era? He still gets to talk to him. I say it counts.
Yeah, I think I have too many thoughts to put into words right now.
Acceptable.
Does it have to be something that is an old story? I like it because it is modern and it still kind of plays with that, and he still interacts with them, and
Right.
yeah.
That's the reason I would say it would count, is because the gods still come to speak to them and stuff. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just a story that you're this passed down heir. It's more of an interaction with that world.
Yeah.
So I would say count it. Nobody ever calls him Perseus. I would.
Like, Percy Jackson. That's why I didn't feel right when I said it.
But I would much rather his name be Perseus. Like 100%. Let's look up demigods. Romulus and Remus, who are twin sons of Mars.
Yeah, like I would be really interested in a movie or something about their lives.
There's Turnus. I don't know any of these people.
Really,
feel like
you're just putting us at the end of a couple different random words. Sorry.
Achilles is Greek. I don't know if that makes a difference for you. Does Greek and Roman mythology make too much of a difference to you? I can hardly tell the difference between them sometimes. So I, as someone who was like, I really like this, I'd be curious your opinion on it.
Sometimes I don't really know the difference. I myself get them confused. I'll think I'm talking about Greek mythology, but I'm actually referencing a Roman god, and people are like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah, because Hercules for Greek is Hercules or something like that.
Hercules.
Hercules. There we go.
Hercules.
I knew what I was talking about too. I said it too.
Yeah.
I know one of them, they're all named after moons and stuff, or the planets are named after them, but that's all I got for you.
I didn't know that, so that was helpful. Thank you.
You did know that.
I didn't know that.
That's why That's why we named our planets what we named them, was after mythology.
I know there's one that translates.
I think
to
it's
Earth,
Roman,
but
sorry guys, I've let all of you down.
I know. Can you
Roxanne's immediately regretting agreeing to this?
Can you step your game up and provide?
Look, if we wanted to talk about Fast and Furious movies, I've got you guys. Don't worry about it. If you want to hear about my passionate hate for the Fast and the Furious series,
so check this out. So Dom's Hercules, right?
Yeah. Dom's Hercules.
And
family. I need to the family. I got you. Mind you, my wife's staring at me right now. Dagger. She's like, I love those movies.
Oh my god! Can we all get together and do another episode where we give each Fast and Furious character their Greek or Roman god counterpart?
I think all of them have a counterpart in the Greek and Roman world. But Ludacris would obviously be Hermes. So
who?
Ludacris is Hermes.
I was thinking Bow Wow.
Is Bow Wow in any of the Fast and Furious movies?
He's in the third one. He's going to be in this new one.
Oh.
Look, I got confirmation. I heard it.
She was like, yeah, obviously he was, and then you said that, and she's like, oh yeah, that is the one.
And then that one guy
didn't count until like the 6th movie. I told you guys,
but it counts.
Now it counts. We lost Paul Walker, and then suddenly they're like, oh yeah, we had some other guys to bring into this.
Oh, who's gonna be John Cena?
Oh my god,
it's so funny. So not to super get derailed again.
It's already happened, guys.
But when I'm watching the trailer for the new one and I saw John Cena and I was like, that's Dom's brother. Like immediately with no question was like, that's where this soap opera is going. It's going to be his brother. And he's like, do you remember me, brother? I'm like, I knew it. Fuck you. Stupid writers and your terrible movies. This is like Sharknado.
Remember when Roxanne agreed to be on this show so that she could talk about something she loved? Fast and Furious.
Oh, you dropped Fast and Furious twice. I even tried to bring it back to the main topic of the story, and you were like, fuck, no, Paul Walker. Let's talk.
I've only seen like one of those movies, too.
Count yourself lucky. I've
which
seen
one?
all
Wait,
which 8
one?
of them.
Because it might not be lucky.
That's fair.
Is the first one?
No, then you're good. One. That was the one good one.
That's the one they did it on.
Where they like zoom under the 18-wheeler?
Yes.
And they zoom, yeah.
Yeah, you just go about your life thinking that that's all that ever happened in the Fast and Furious series, and you'll be good.
Yo, you remember Ja Rule's in
it? Is he?
Nobody likes to remember Ja Rule, but he was in it.
I feel like feels familiar that he's in. I haven't seen that in 10 years or something.
Michael, when's the last time you seen the first one?
The first one forever, whenever it came out.
Oh.
If I have to, I've only watched them once.
I lived in Dallas when it came out, and I watched it at the movie theater. Or I was at the movie theater off of 635, and there's a Taco Cabana across from it. It's not Royal Lane. It's not Beltline. I don't know, but it's off of 635. There's a movie theater. It's east of 635 and 35. East of that, there's like a movie theater down that way. Oh, it actually might be. Is Royal Lane parallel to 635?
Yes.
Anyway, that movie theater, we came out and all the little like racer guys were speeding through the parking lot, and I was like, what is happening right now?
Everyone was so fast and so furious then.
I get it. I come out of Mission Impossible movies thinking I'm gonna fucking defuse a bomb, so it's fine. I'm not worried about it. There's a kid, you walk out of the movie and you're like, yeah, I'm a badass now. I just watched someone murder someone and let's do it.
Did you come out of Transformers looking at your car funny?
Fuck yeah, I did. I think that's just gonna then again, when that came out, that was just because of drugs. So whatever. Anyways, on to the next one.
I was like that with 300. When 300 came out, I left the movie theater pumped up.
Did you kick people in the chest? Because that's what I did
Yeah.
for a while.
We then when it came out on DVD, we had a viewing party and we just bought buckets of chicken and sat in front of this movie eating and drinking, and it was.
Did you scream
Enjoy
"This
as
is
a kid.
Sparta" as you kicked every door open?
Yeah, absolutely. How many times did you scream "This is Sparta"? It was probably forever, for like at least 2 years.
That's when I could get my leg that high. Those are good old days.
My youth.
Quarantine hit
I
different.
miss it. Quarantine hit different. I know it's no surprise to you, but I have no additional facts about Hercules for you.
I'm not super surprised. I was gonna say, do you remember when this episode was about Hercules?
Oh, I'll tell you. Do you know
Yes.
that Hercules, the story of him, he butchered his family?
Disney didn't have that.
So Hera was jealous of Hercules because Zeus really, really liked him or loved him. And so she put like a spell on him or something, and he went into like a fit or mad rage and butchered his whole family, his wife and kids. And when he came out of it and saw what he did, he was guilty and wanted to atone for that. And so he went to the Oracle of Delphi, and she told him, you need to go see your cousin, who is this king, whoever, and you need to do these 12 labors. And once you complete all these 12 labors, then you will have atoned for murdering your whole family, and you will have immortality.
That makes me even sadder because the 12 labors thing you mentioned in the Legend of Hercules, which is about a love story thing, and makes me hate it so much more. That it could have been about that story, and it ended up being about him just wanting to get with the girl.
And just pinning in on the buff guy, like dripping in sweat with blood pouring out and like dripping off his hands, and yeah.
Also, the knowledge in which you pull out those names is very impressive because I have to look at them and then say them in my head 3 times, and then I can say them out loud to you.
Fair.
Also, do you think maybe so many movies are about Hercules because Hercules was Zeus's favorite?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say yes.
That might have some, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you and I both watched the Netflix show Blood of Zeus,
Yeah.
which was the story you were telling me made me kind of think of that because Hera fucking hates all of Zeus's kids. All
Well,
of them.
he was a man whore.
That is fair. but damn, don't blame the kids. They
I
ain't do
agree.
nothing.
Yep. He
We gotta
couldn't
wipe
keep
the
it in
evidence
row.
off.
I guess you can't take out Zeus, so you got to do the next best thing, which is off them kids. Please cut me saying off those kids.
I really want Netflix to release that series called Chaos
Mhm.
because they were supposed to release it last year and they didn't. Or maybe I just don't know when they were supposed to release it, and I think it's last year.
With Jason Statham.
Really?
So look, here's the thing. I googled Netflix chaos.
With a K?
No. Okay, that helps. That helps a lot. Because I'm like, this is Jason Statham with Wesley Snipes. This does not seem like the movie that you're referring to. I'll watch it, but it doesn't seem like the movie that you're referring to.
Oh, it's coming out this year.
Huzzah! I found it too. I was there. I'm smart. Don't worry about it. I have a podcast. You hear me? You ever disrespect?
Yeah, that would make sense. He's the favorite, so that's why there's so many adaptations of shows and cartoons about him. It would be interesting if somebody went into like the whole thing about him butchering his family and
right, yeah. I mean, again, that Legend of Hercules movie could have been that, and they just, he just wanted some.
I also hope that I have my history correct and that is truly what happened, because I've read about it, but not over several sources. So I could be completely wrong. Somebody could have lied to me on the internet.
Here's the best thing. We don't fact check here.
You come in here and say it with that authority, we believe you.
We have said on several episodes that we know a little bit about a lot.
And we will speak with authority on everything, and we shouldn't.
Also, I text Katie and said that we're going to do a Fast and Furious marathon, 1 to 9, and then I'm just not going to come.
I fucking hate you so much. Oh, okay. Man.
Roxanne, did you have anything that you wanted to say or leave us off with? What you have going on, what you're doing, any cool stuff?
Not really. Now that we're starting to come out of the pandemic, I'm also moving to a new apartment so I can start baking a ton again. I've stopped because I don't have anybody to bake for anymore. I can't give it away because I don't eat it. Yeah, like I could totally ship it to Dallas.
I guess it costs you to send. I don't want you to have to pay to send it to
me.
It's
actually pretty affordable to like send it. And if I like do the overnight option or whatever, it's still pretty affordable, But yeah, I haven't baked in a while and I miss it. I just have nobody to give the food to once I bake it. So
what you're saying is if we move out to where you're at, that's like
well, wait, because she's moving again. So let's let her get settled and figure out where she's moving.
Fair.
Not creepy or anything. Welcome to the podcast.
No, we just want cookies. That's really all it's about.
Doc. Did you
underestimate how much I would do for cookies. Show up, man. I would like some cookies, please.
I'll just knock and be like, what's the time on the oven? All right, I'll be back. That's cool. That's actually how I met Roxanne. We started talking about her baking. She had made a Godzilla cake at the time. Really impressive stuff.
Yes, I did. Yes, I remember. I barely remember that. Wow. Yeah.
Still trapped, baby. Yeah, and she sent me cookies once.
Mm-hmm.
That also happened.
I sent a friend of mine cupcakes as well, and they shipped okay. Like I frosted them and everything, and they shipped pretty well. I just haven't shipped food anymore. I take it to work now, and all those hungry developers just eat it right up.
Nice. Well, that's good. Yeah. When you have something up and running, you let us know, and we will plug it often.
I don't know.
And by plug it, I mean we'll put orders in and have it sent out to us.
It could be like there's this one podcast I did watch for a bit called Try Guys.
We actually don't talk about any other podcasts here.
Well, no. So there's a guy though who brings cookies. Oh, they have
the way you said it was so serious.
I was gonna keep going too. I was just like, well,
you
let's get in today.
Absolutely.
Go fuck yourself. Here I go.
Just keep going.
So they have they actually have like a section where they're like, oh, and here comes Alex with whatever he baked today, and this dude comes on like at some point during the podcast, and today I baked brownies, or today I baked cookies, and he just gives them to everybody there. And I always just am like, what is the point of this? But
This makes me
I
think
get
that
it.
Stephanie's really fucking slacking.
Yeah. Maybe it's just to get the
That's in
name
our
out.
text message. Where's my brownies?
Can people order from him or anything? Or does he give like cooking tips or just have
Nope.
I have muffins today and that's the end of the whole conversation? Weird.
Yep.
Yeah, that is
Then he-
weird.
So like they try stuff, right? Like they'll try pasta or coffee or the whole menu at Domino's. And so he'll come on and say, oh, and I'm going to try this slice of blah, 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 or I don't know, whatever he's trying. And then he takes the plate of whatever he baked and he leaves off the camera. And I'm just like, why are we investing in what this guy is baking? Nobody's eating it. They don't show anyone eating it either.
That's great. That's what I want to start doing with your stuff. I go, we'll see if this is any good. You have a review? Nah. I'm all right.
It was a cookie. It is no longer a cookie.
They are definitely cookies.
Reviewed.
So moving on to the 5th Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh God, I'm not allowed to talk about Fast and Furious anymore, guys.
I think the one with The Rock is at least worth a watch because there's a part where they have the underworld people come out of the ground and it actually looks pretty cool. Or at least just watch the trailer because they're in that they're in the trailer.
You could just YouTube like clips and it'll just show you like the best ones. That's what I did. That was my research for this episode. I think I'm definitely going to watch or read Steve Moore's comics, and I will let you both know how they are. Because he apparently took like painstakingly accurate information and put it all in his comics.
That's cool. Yeah.
Anyways, let us know what you guys thought at home. You guys like Hercules? Do you guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger as Hercules? Do you guys want to watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with him in 1969 playing Hercules in New York?
So sorry, but can we watch it on your 24-hour stream?
Yeah, sure. We sure can.
There's no way somebody's gonna sue us for that one, right?
Yeah, no, we get sued. Arnold will show up. Him and I are good friends.
He didn't want to talk about it.
He just wouldn't talk about it. You guys can let us know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe. You can also check out all of our social medias. What are the social medias, Steve?
We have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. They are all Friendship Supreme, except Twitter has no eyes, no word friendship. All eyes typically make it to our YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com and search Friendship Supreme. We also have a Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Friendship Supreme, where you can come in and watch Michael and I play video games for hours and hours every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And we have a P.O. box that I've not memorized that is in the description below.
Please send us all the baked goods. Thanks.
No, Roxanne, don't use that address. I won't get them.
Yes. They're all mine. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I've been Michael.
This is Cleve.
Roxanne.
And that's Phil's boy over there.